I think the world would be a better place if we would all just suck each other's balls. I really do. This took place in the Northern Territories, which I believe is in Canada, somewhere near Fort Simpson. Simpson, eh? Homer Simpson. No, near Fort Simpson. And what happened is a very peculiar story. We begin in this happened a few years ago. The birds were tweeting and it was all well and good. In Canada, eh? And the people in Canada, much like in South Park, were going about the day, and a bunch of young children, teenagers, but still children, teenagers, had were looking for nature and fun, and one of them was, the names have been hidden for safety reasons, asked me to hide their names or give other names, but these young teenagers had been to the sauna, and they were all sat in the sauna in their swimming costumes and in their swimming shorts. And in the sauna, they had put the clock timer on to measure how long they were sat now in the sauna. And they were feeling the heat of the sauna, and just relaxing every muscle in the forehead and every muscle in the legs and back and chest muscles and sinews and lung, biceps and muscle and surgeon attachments. Everything just rejuvenating, and they were actually on a diet of oil and niacin and Guinness, and they were all sat around in this sauna in Canada. I believe it's Canada. It's the Northern Territories, wherever that is. I'm not a geologist. Anyway, geographist. Anyway, they were sat in this sauna, and as you do sit in the sauna with other people, and some people talk, and that's how conversation seems to get started. If you want to know about how to rent or how to buy or how to have a mortgage, just ask someone in the sauna. Anyway, the topic came up in the sauna as they were sat on the wooden planks in the sauna, and it was just radiating away. Not too hot, but just hot enough to sweat. Juxtaposed to the colder, fresh, clean, crisp air outside, the sauna was nice and warm in here. During these stories, even though these stories may have happened in the past to certain people, these stories are for entertainment purposes only. I will not give any proof or clarification if they ever did happen or not. So, as far as you're concerned, the purpose of these stories are to help you relax and help you to feel as if and visualize and tangibly experience mentally the sauna and the story as best you can. Best experienced by closing your eyes when listening to these tales on Conspiracy Club. So imagine now you were in the sauna with them, and you're one of them. They're young females or boyish, beautiful body, beautiful chest muscles. You're part of the gymnasium group. You've paid your membership somehow for the year, which allows you to use multiple saunas and gyms within a so many miles vicinity. So you're at this particular thing, and this particular gymnasium sauna, with your female friends and your male friends, and you're all in some kind of harmonium of well-wishing for each other, because you're only good-hearted, young, sprightly, firm-bodied teenagers at the minute. Just imagine you are, just feel you are now, sat in the sauna, and you're looking and you're feeling the wood. And if you just press your back against the wood, you feel how warm and deep heated that is. Down your spine and back and everything. And One of the lads, your friends, has borrowed his dad's car, and it's a good car. I don't know exactly what car it is because it's an American car, and I'm not from America. But there's ways to get there. Anyway, this is in Canada, new territories. So you're one of the lads, young lads, no stomach whatsoever. Just a slim, young, muscular lad who's been pumping on the drop sets for the chest and biceps, doing ribcage expansions. You've got a good physique, even though you're natural. And you can see the trickles of sweat coming off your female friends' legs and your other mates, your best friends' chest and shoulders, even though he's got a bit of spots because he's a teenager. And the topic they just happened to bring up was let's go camping. So for this particular story, I'm going to name the two girls. One girl I'm going to name Lucy. The other girl's name I'm going to name Lily. Your name is your name, whatever that is. So I'll just call that you, yourself. And your best friend is called Chris. So that's you're in the sauna, yourself with Chris and with Lily and Lucy. Both young, and you're young as well. And you just so happened that Lily was quite talkative and she was just talking about, she used to go with her dad and her mom every year camping in the woods in summer, near, well, into the countryside in Fort. Well, they used to drive away from Fort Simpson, and just them types of things. And she used to hear wood knocks, and she thought nothing about it. And then Chris started to laugh and say, "Oh, did you eat marshmallows with your dad and all that?" And she said, "Yeah. Why did you not? Have you not been camping with your family?" And Chris is like, "Oh no, my family doesn't take us camping." And she's like, "Oh, why?" And then Lucy's like, "Oh, I've got this week off coming up." And then you suggest, as a leader, well, between us, we've all got the camping gear, really warm thermal sleeping gear, tents, everything, and we've got this car now because Chris, you borrowed your dad's car, so it just so happens that they say, yeah, everyone's just really enthusiastic and say, let's go camping this coming week because we're borrowing Chris's dad's car, so let's do it. And that's what happened, kind of, in the Northern Territories. So before we get into the proper story, let's just get a brief description of yourself, your body in the sauna here in Canada, and the description of your good best female friend Lily and Lucy, and the description of your good friend Chris here in this sauna. Just, even though your eyes are closed and you're probably in bed listening to this, whilst keeping your eyes closed, pretend you're opening your eyes. So your eyes just flicker with your eyelids closed. Pretend you're looking at this woman now in the sauna. This is your best friend. I'm going to describe Lily because she's sat near you now and she's just in the sauna. She's just moving her feet, her beautiful feet, around as she moves her ankles. And she twists her feet and her toenails are painted white. Her skin is mocha. Just 1 minute. What? Her skin is not mocha. What's that colour called? Cream. Yeah, skin is creamy coloured. Let me get the exact colour. 1 minute. Sorry, I do apologise. I've just looked it up. Her skin is the colour blige. The colour blige is like it's like a natural suntan that you'd find on maybe an Asian or Caucasian girl, on a white girl. It's like bright blige colour, and that's the skin all over her legs and feet and calf muscles and up to her knees, and then down her quite long thighs. It's all naturally blige colour, and her hips are quite wide apart. There's a good gap in between her legs, and then she's kind of got a hourglass shape where her bum and hips are quite the only stocky thing on her, and then it tapers into a very narrow stomach she's got, and it's so narrow, her stomach, that her swimming costume struggles to cling to it, and then because of her ribcage expands straight out again to her quite broad shoulders, like a V shape. And then because she's young, she's only got perky boobs. They're not they're not big, whole and complete type of things, though they are complete all the way to her neck. And then you can just see the muscles sat over her, all the way up her chest, muscles smooth onto her collarbones, and then she's got a set back round neck, and she's got a very distinct jawline that comes down to a point on her chin. Very distinct, powerful jawline. And then she's got like a slightly upturned nose, where you would even be able to see into her nostrils. But all her skin on her face is blige. Her eyes are a good width apart. Her nose is at one piece with her, in between her eyes and forehead. It's smooth, one piece. And her hair is a very naturally dark brown. Every hair strand on her hair is thick and dark brown, very, very dark brown naturally. And she's twiddling her toenails and looking at them and touching one of her toes with one of her foot with her other feet with her other foot. And then when she wants your attention because you're her best friend, she'll just rub her foot on your calf muscle to get your attention in the sauna. So this is Lily. This is Lily, one of your best female friends, Lily. She considers you to be one of her best friends ever. And this is Lily. And Lily, she's young, and well, she's actually a bit older than a teenager. She's actually like slightly older, but she's still young. She's like a bit older than you. Well, in this story anyway, she is. And she's about 19. I don't know if that qualifies her to be a teenager or not, but she's about 19, and she's got a blige skin colour. And if you want to know what the colour blige is, it's like bright. Not quite as bright as a yellow cow, but look it up. Anyway, she's in the sauna with you, and she's trying to get your attention. and she's looking at her new white painted toenails, and her skin is all blush on her face and body naturally. And she's saying to you, "Oi, do you like my new do you like my toenails? I've had them painted for you." That's it, and then you say what you want to say. How would you respond to that? And then basically, you tell her, Lily, you're up for it, aren't you? She says, yeah, of course I'm up for it. No, and then you say, no, I mean camping. She says, yeah, of course. I'm up for camping with you this week, let's go. Okay, and then we both turn to Chris and say, right, Chris, you're the driver. Now I'm going to give you a description of Chris. Chris looks older than he actually is. Chris is a bit balding, a little bit, and he's a teenager, and he's a bit spotty. His body's very lean. He's got a bit of hair on his chest, but he's got no stomach whatsoever. Looks a bit emaciated, and he always does what you tell him kind of thing. He goes along with everything because you're the leader. He's like the follower that goes along with it all, and which is good. You need them type of people. You know, people who you can do activities with and so on and so forth. They put up no resistance. You know, and you can use his car and him and his friendship and go places together type of thing. In a non-using, mutual, beneficial way. With kindness and respect. And you look after him. And basically Chris has got a bit of hair on his legs. He's got no hair on his body. He has a little bit of hair on his forearms, and his haircut is a brown haircut. It's a brown colour, and it's like an old-fashioned haircut. And his features are very prominent jaw, prominent nose, but he's under your watch basically. He considers you to be his best friend, so you do look after him. So anyway, Chris is looking and saying, looking at you and now looking at Lily and saying, well guys, it's not my car, you see, it's my dad's car. And then Lily says, didn't you say your dad was away next week on a business trip? And then where you're going like, I got you now. And he's very easily to manipulate because he needs our friendship. So he's easily led. So we know we're getting this car. We're getting Chris to drive his dad's car and drive us into the drive you and all of them into the for a nice camping venture, holiday type of thing, which we think is going to be a nice time together, camping in the remote woods in Canada, in the Northern Territories. We think at least it's going to be a nice, pleasant time of enjoying waterfalls and hiking and sleeping together and telling tales by the campfire and all these type of things, and just having that companionship of sleeping near someone, hearing their breath and their breathing and the buoyancy of the muscles and that. Just having that companionship, which you don't really need, but you've got it, according to this story, anyway. And then, of course, there is Lucy. I'm going to describe Lucy to you now. And then there was Lucy. She's always in a soda. She's a bit podgy. Her skin is pinky and ivory. And she got thick hips and thick knee joints. Robust. Her stomach is rather more narrow than you would expect. And her breasts are full. and around them are a shade of pink, and she has round shoulders and a round neck, but she has a rather defined jawline for such a podge. And she is Lucy. She is infallibly horny, but she hides it with her blank face expression. That none should know these things other than other women that pick up on it. And she sat there in the sauna, having rubbed her creamy donut, having fingered her donuts earlier before she entered the sauna. She was on the cakes. And then she came into the sauna and she said, "Hey, you guys, should we do a 20-minute session in the sauna?" And she's all for camping. One good thing about this girl, Lucy, is that she's for camping, aren't you? And she says, basically, "Yeah, I'm definitely up for it. I'm definitely ready. I'm free this week as well. Where are we going?" "Come on, Chris, when we're going, we'll go to your house. Has your dad gone on his business vacation yet?" And Chris looks. Chris is quite lean and emancipated. He says, "Well, yeah, he's gone on his business trip. You saw him off to the airport." Okay. So yeah, so we sit here together in this steamy sauna and it's quite bearable in the sauna, I'll be honest. It's nice, warm, and cozy and lovely. So one of them gets out and goes straight into the cold shower, cold water, just to have that cold water on your back. It's cold, then hot, then cold, then hot, therapy type of thing. And then you come out and you're all relaxed. And your skin looks refreshed and really good. Because you've been sweating it out. And there's a bit of a towel, small one, to wipe the sweat off. You just have a quick... you all come out and then you all... Basically, you're on your bare feet. You're on the tiles, walking around, having a shower, under the shower. And then you can see the swimming pool with light blue coloured water. People swimming in it. And you four are just gonna edge your way into the swimming pool. Just have a good splash about and a good swim and a good look at each other's faces, laughing and smiling, splash each other gently. None of this aggressive splashing type of thing. No, because you're very good people, you see. Very good well-wishers of each other. Very good down-to-earth people, you see. There's not an evil intention between you. You saw Chris gets in the water. He's got his feet there, lines himself up, and he just does a cannonball into the swimming pool. And then obviously you're edging your way into the water because you've just come out of a hot sauna and now you're getting into a cold swimming bath. Obviously the temperature is, you just have to wade into the water, swim into the swimming pool, and like Lily's saying to you, "Oh, come on, are you frigid? Get in." And she just gets in she's just used to it. She just gets in the water. She doesn't matter how cold it is. It's not that cold actually if you feel it, on your skin. It's not that bad, but you're getting in there. And then you just lower your chest down into the water. And then straight away you swim to make your arms warm. The rest of your body's warm. It's just warming them arms up, isn't it? You swim straight away to start doing that swimming to the other side of the swimming pool. You'll eventually get there if you keep on going, but And then chunky, ivory, pinky skinned Lucy, she's got in the water swimming pool with you. And she's there splashing and laughing and touching you and trying to swim in between your legs, but she's too big. Well, it's alright. Anyway, there's a lot of legs splashing in the swimming pool, hands. It's all safe. You're in a swimming pool, for God's sake. Oh yeah, and the bikini like this. Sorry, everything's good. Your shorts are quite full of air, but that's how you like it. Anyway, you're looking up, and you warmed your arms up now in the swimming pool, and now you're swimming to the shallow end. And you get to the point where you can put your feet on the floor, and you can walk. Well, you don't walk, you swim toward. You're swimming. Swimming. In the tranquilo, tranquil manner. You're swimming gently to the shallow end, just to have a relax. You get to the shallow end, and guess who's there waiting for you? Big Lucy. Juicy. She's got a pink ivory skin, and she's wearing a type of bathing costume, which so happens to be white. Her skin's more pinky ivory, so the white is more white. The bathing costume is more white than her skin, definitely. And basically, she knows the drill. She knows what you're gonna do because she's been with you so many times, you lot. She knows, so she puts her head on the side of the swimming pool. So her head is outside of the swimming pool, and her neck's on the side of the swimming pool, with her head resting on the outside of the swimming pool, with her body in the water. And you do that. Basically, you put your head now backwards, and you just put your head on the tiles. You know, as if you're about to dive into a swimming pool. That's where you stand. Well, that's where you put your head, your neck, there on the edge of the swimming pool. Just press it back, press your neck and your head back into it, and the rest of the body is just floating in the swimming pool with your back towards the swimming pool. Your body's in the water. It's just, you close your eyes or open your eyes, and it's just just rest there, Oh yeah. And there's a ceiling, there's a bit of a glass ceiling, windows, so you can see the clouds and stuff outside of the swimming pool and that going by, different shapes. Anyway, we've made our plans now, and now we are prepared to work our plan. Our plan is basically us four going to this uneventful camping holiday in Canada, which we think is going to be quite uneventful. But it's our day off, so we can manage it. Come on, you can manage it. So anyway, you've got your eyes closed. You're there, closed eyes for 10 minutes, just visualizing with your head on the tiles, your neck on the tiles, the rest of your body in the water. And you decide to pull your hands out of the swimming pool and just keep them, and put your hands, on the tiles of the swimming pool, if that makes sense. Just so your fingers don't wrinkle. Not wrinkle, what's it called? When water gets on your fingertips too much. Only happens to your fingertips, really. Anyway, after a while, we get out, we get our towels on, we go in our changing rooms, and we get changed. Getting changed in the changing rooms. So, unbeknownst to Chris, we get out, and we're getting changed, and we look over one cubicle into the next cubicle, and Chris is there, and Chris is he's got changed now, and he's drying his hair, and he's in the other cubicle. You can hear the hairdryer going, as the girls dry their dark brown hair, and very good hair, I must say. Beautiful, beautiful, safe, happy life, living a fantastic, wonderful, friendly, safe, loving, cooperative world. Anyway, do you know what happened was, well, we're saying, come on, Chris, let's go to eat now. All right, I'm getting dressed, just dry my hair. So we go to this machine which dries your shorts, which dries your, and Fingy's there, Lucy, smiling at you. And she's saying basically, oh, let me dry my costume. But you're drying your shorts in this machine. There's a machine that dries your shorts, dries your swimming costume after, you've been to these places. And Lily's there, and she's putting her socks on over her white painted nails, and then putting her trainers on, and we're all ready to go. We've got the clothes on. We're all ready to go. We've got our bags, and off we go. And obviously, I'm like impressed because look, Chris has got this car, and it's his dad's car. So come on, drive your dad's car for us. So we just, he opens the door, he unlocks it with his key, beep, beep, and then he gets in the driver's seat, and he doesn't expect us to get into the seats as well, but we open the doors and get in the car with him. And he basically turns around and says to us three, to me, Lucy, Lily, and myself, and yourself, to you, Lucy, and Lily, what are you doing? And we basically all say, oh, take us home, Chris. We have to get this camping gear ready. And he's like, oh, he's starting the engine and driving. He's like, oh, he's trying to make excuses, but he's actually doing the work. He's actually driving us to his house in Fort Simpson, and he's basically he's driving us there, and he's making these excuses as he drives us there, like, oh, you can't mess the house up, me mum, oh, my dad's gonna be back in a few days, you can't mess the house up, and all this type of thing, and I'm like saying, where's your mum gone? And he's like saying, she's gone to meet him, for like a holiday. Whilst he's on his business holiday, she's gone as a surprise to meet him. So basically, we get to his house. It's a big house, and he gets his key to the wooden door. He puts the key in, turns the door. It's a beautiful house with windows just either side, connected to the front door. There's windows. Beautiful, beautiful big house, I must say. I enter it, and I've been in this house many times because he's our friend. And there's tons of room. It's like a pine wood floor type of effect, real pine wood. And you just wipe your feet, and take your shoes off, take your trainers off, and we go in and make yourself at home. And Lucy, even though it's not her home, she says, "Make yourself at home, honey." So that's that. And anyway, Lily's there rooting around in the garage straight away, looking for, and in his bedroom looking for camping equipment because she's not kidding around. Sorry, this is Lily. Lily is just she's just rooting around for this camping equipment, and then rooting around in the kitchen, pans and pots, because she wants to cook some dinner for us, which is very handy of her, to be honest. We're very Sukoon, we're very chill, we're very relaxed. Me, Chris, and Lucy, Chunky Lucy. We're just watching TV, just lounging in Chris's house. Oh my god. And then save us, basically, then what's happening? But Lily, she's a totally different ball game. She's very proactive. She's gone and found some camping equipment, and that type of things, which I wouldn't even have found. She's very good at finding these type of things. Women are good at, when a man's lost something in a drawer or somewhere in the bedroom, a woman can find it, a man really might not be able to. But then what's happened is she's very proactive. We're all there watching TV, relaxing on the settee, couches, and all that type of thing, getting the heating on and getting everything, putting, not just enjoying ourselves, but Lily, oh, she's that late. She's cooking. She's talking to us from the kitchen. She's saying, "Do you want this food?" And she's cooking, and you can hear her running the water, cooking stuff, putting the oven on, putting the pans on. You can hear her chopping things and making proper, pasta and whatever else she's making. Proper food. She's really handy in that way. She's very prepared. She prepares to succeed, and that's why she's. If you don't prepare to fail, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Well, she's very prepared. She just gets stuff done. She's just proactive. But we're all lounging around in Chris's house. Big house. Nice house. Wow, what a nice house. Cars outside, everything's nice. Big windows, everything's lovely. Good neighborhood. Nice people, nice neighbors. We are good neighbors. Anyway, I mean, you are. So, then that's what it is. Then Lily cooks us a fantastic meal. Large portions. I always have seconds, large portions. And she's such a nice, loving, kind, fit, adorable. Always giving you, she's always a good friend. And we're all there eating and watching TV together throughout the night. And then, we're prepared. And we go home and we arrange a time to meet up the following day to go camping. So we go home, blah blah blah, go to sleep, whatever, meet our families, and then we explain to them, look, we're going camping. We tell our parents we're going camping, blah 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 blah. We explain roughly where we're going to go camping, so on and so forth. We get the permission, even if we don't really have their permission. We're just telling them this is what we're going to do. Try and stop us. No one can stop us anyway, so we just tell our parents what's going on. So we just let them know. We let our parents know where we're going to be, where we're going to be camping, for how many days, roughly, just to give them peace of mind. And then the next day, after we wake up, we get dressed, brush our teeth, comb our hair, have a shower, these type of things. Get me bag packed for all this camping adventure type of thing, and getting food supplies. We've got to go shopping first. So right, first things first is Lily comes round to my house, to my parents' house. She knocks on the door. Well, she just doesn't even knock on the door. She's so used to coming to my house, my good friend. She just walks in the house. Doesn't bother anymore to even knock on the door. She does sometimes. She just checks the door to see if it's open and just comes into my parents' house. And she just shouts your name. So basically, she's come round early morning. I'm still in bed. I can hear her shouting downstairs. So I get up, get dressed, come downstairs. She's in my house already, Lily. In your house already, sorry. And basically, she's like, she knows we made these plans to go camping, and she just follows through on it. She just quickly makes decisions, good ones, and follows through on them, type of person. And she cares so much, so very much. So she's just making you go camping, whether you like it or not. She's just proactive in that manner. So obviously, she talks to my parents, she talks to me, and then she basically grabs you by the arm and drags you out to make sure you go camping. So you got no choice, you're going camping now, like it or not. Enjoy the experience. And you're off to go camping. But first we need to go to the supermarket, get some supplies, take some pots and pans. And she's very organised, this Lily, I'll be honest. And we go there to the supermarket. She makes us walk. She's got a big backpack on. I've got my backpack filled with clothes and pans and some other equipment. She's like kitted out like Rambo. Shorts on, everything. Beautiful skin. Everything's there. And she's just like, we're walking together, and we're going to the supermarket. And we're going down the aisles, looking at the pasta, looking at the bread, looking at the energy drinks, not from concentrate drinks, all the fruit, veg, different foods, just putting stuff into our trolley. And we're just very relaxed, casually shopping as we do, as you're used to shopping. And then we got our stuff, go to the checkout, there's a bit of a queue, just making a bit of chit chat, saying, oh, what do we need? And Lily's saying, oh, we need this, oh, we'll need that as well. Money's no object, just get this as well. She just gets it, shoves it in the trolley, as you know. Take it to checkout, bing bang bong, we've done it, paid for it, and all that type of thing. And then Chris's car is there outside, we're ready to go, full equipment. He's got the equipment, he's got the tent, open the boot, full of equipment, a tent, everything, he's got all the equipment, guns, I'm surprised, but there you go, and all them kind of things we've got, we're ready to go. And guess who sat in the passenger seat? Chunky Lucy, pinky ivory skin Lucy. She's ready, she says. Hope you're ready. Hope you're ready for this, to make this holiday a happy one. Give you a bit of a wink, which is unlike her, and a smile, which is unlike her, because Lucy has quite a blank face expression most of the time. But she seems to be opening up more than usual. Anyway, Chris gets in the car, driving seat. You get in the back of the car with Lily. Stuff's in the car. Off you go. Off we go now to start this uneventful camping holiday. So here we are, driving along these roads, countryside roads. It's just pure tarmac in the middle of millions of pine trees, just running like a ribbon of tarmac, just through millions of pine trees and rivers and flowing under the and all type of things, just nature. It's pure extended nature that goes in all directions. It's just nature just driving for quite a good distance just through nature. And I'm like, internally, or at least I'm with you guys, because I wouldn't camp on my own. I'd rather stay in a hotel or one of my houses at your houses or something. But, because I've heard too many stories, but, yeah, animals. Anyway, we get there, and I suppose, oh well, you gotta try new things. And, Lily is an experienced camper. She's been doing camping for many years with her family. And so she knows what she's doing. And so we get there, and we decide to park up here. And it seems like a good spot. Chris says, seems like a good spot. And Lily concurs. She says, this is a good view. This is a beautiful view. And you just say, what a beautiful view. Beautiful view. Interesting view. It's got all the mountains. It's got a good, not too high up, not too low down. You've got mountains above you, but you're quite still high up. You've got a good parameter, a good view down of all 360. Just trees and trees and green and green and green and just green and trees and evergreen trees and branches, yeah, everything. So we park up. So Big Lucy, she just opens the door, gets out, opens your door, breathing the fresh air, and we're here. So we settle down, get the camping gear out. We just survey the land that we're in, and just kind of And I think, what am I doing? Yeah, I'd rather be at home. I can't tell them that, can you? Right. Anyway, here we are, and Lily's loving it because she's used to doing camping with her parents every year. She's used to it. So you're not used to something, it's not your habit. It's how you form good habits, by doing right things a lot until they become a good habit. So, we're here. Yes, we're here. Here we are. So Lily's saying, here we are. Lucy's saying, yes, we're here. You're saying, oh, here we are. Chris is saying, good to be here with you guys. So come on then, Lily. Lily's saying, come on, help with this, carry this. Come on, help me up, help me put the tent up. And I'm like, you're like, what, we need to put the tent up now? She says, yeah. Or do you want to put it up in the dark? So of course you put it up now. She says, here, hold this. Yeah, put this into the ground. Knock this into the ground. There you are, knocking this thing into the ground. Doing these kind of things. And it seems to be alright. There's like little flowers and lots of grass and patches with no grass and all this type of thing. Seems to be normal. Seems to be nature. So this is your first night in the woods together. And you're there, and it's getting dark. And luckily, Lucy, she's been collecting with you loads of bits of wood, and we're making a fire. And Lily's made the fire. She's experienced. And Chris is there warming his nuts on the fire, near the fire. And we've got a nice log, which is broken off, that we can sit on. And the tent's up. The tent's been made. Managed to get a 4-man tent up. And that's the best we've got, really. We've got better, but, for the time being, it'll do. Tent's a tent, isn't it? You can feel the tent. Seems to be, it's near the car, that's the main thing. I was thinking, like, in the middle of the night, I'll just take Chris's car keys and go in the car if I want. But Lily's expecting us to sleep in the tent, because I don't know why. Anyway, it's getting dark. Oh my god, it's getting dark. I mean, it's getting dark. Oof, I didn't expect this. That it gets dark at night, I did not expect that. Though I'm usually prepared for most things. And there's a bit, it's like the silver lining and the twilight zone in the sky, the twilight of the night is like patches of light in the sky, but the rest of the sky is getting really dark, like black. And I'm just thinking, oh my god, what are we doing out here? Anyway, the one thing that gives us comfort is that we've got the fire going, big fire around the campfire. I'm thinking, oh, that makes us feel safe and all that type of thing, and warm, and bears and that will stay away because they don't like fire and all that type of thing. And I'm actually feeling pretty good. You're feeling pretty good now. So Lucy and Lily are on the cooking, and we're all on the cooking really. We're just sticking sticks with food on it into the fire, over the fire, and cooking it, feeling the fire, the crackle of the fire. It's pretty nice, this, actually. It's simple, but it's nice. Lily's saying, I knew you'd like it. I knew you'd like it with me. See? It's not so bad, is it, camping? I'm like, oh, well, then Lucy's like, oh, I've got to go. And I'm like, Chris is like, where? What? How can you go now? No, she says, I've got to go for number 2. So there she is. She's got her gear on and everything. She's gone out to the bushes, like, I don't know how many meters away from us. And she's got her walking boots on and all that type of thing, extra thick socks and all that type of thing. And she's just like pulling her big pants down, and she's got it out, juicy bum. And then it's getting really dark now, and you can just hear her going, and doing a good poo, and enjoying the poo. of life. She's got a fantastic bum. Not the best, but smooth and all that good. And her bum hole's opening up, and it's just letting all this poo out. She's loving it. And she's going, she's doing a great, good poo. That's what life's about sometimes, doing a nice poo. They say the purpose of life is to recognize the Creator and all that type of stuff and worship only the Creator. But that's one theory or opinion or fact. But there's another thing more to it, which is down here on the earth. Life's about the quality of poos that you do, and all about poo and doing a poo and reminiscing on such a good poo you did. Anyway, she did a good poo, and that's Lucy doing a big poo out of a big bum. Big juicy Lucy. And she feels really good about it. And then, you know what? She doesn't know. No one's speaking to her, but she can hear foots. She can hear. She knows. She senses that it's getting pretty dark now, and she senses that someone's near her already, and she presumes it's either you or Chris. So she says, "Go on then." He pants her down. Just have a go. And it's getting really dark now. And I didn't know this about Lucy, but she's a goer. She's bothering you for a bit of action. And she's just done a good poo, and she's like wiping it up. Sorry, not wiping it up, wiping a bum. A bright, big cow bum. It doesn't look like a cow's bum, not at all. It's a woman's bum. She is a woman. Even though my uncle, he went with some cows on the farm. Anyway, basically, yeah, she's done a good poo. And the light is going dim now. It's going to the point where she's not near the fire. She's out in the bushes in the woods, so many meters away from the fire, and the visibility has gone less because it's getting so dark. But she says to this, she presumes it's you or Chris, has come out near her, and she says, "Oh, go on then, do me." So she bends over and says, "Come on, do me." And she says, and she feels you, and she says, "Oh, how hairy you are." So, oh, you've got the horses one. So she has a good do. Boom, boom, boom. And she's leaning against a tree while she's getting done. And basically, she says, that was the best I've ever. Just to reiterate, she can hear this breathing beside her as she's finishing her delightful poo and she's cleaning herself. And she presumes it's you or Chris near Lucy. Lucy's rosy ivory skin. Big Lucy. And so she says, "Go on then. I know you've always wanted it." So she grabs hold of the person, and she says, "Oh, you have a hairy jacket on. But go on, I don't mind." Meanwhile, you're actually, in reality, probably still at the campfire with Chris. But unbeknownst to her, she's having a very, very, very good time in the woods, after doing a very, very nice poo. She's having a very, very good time with this thing in the woods, but she can't see it, but she's definitely feeling it. And after that, after a while of enjoying the lovely dream, reality, whatever, after a while, it finishes, and it pulls out and it walks away, and she listens as she rests on the tree. She's bent over, resting on the tree is Lucy. And as she listens to this thing walk away, thinking it's you or Chris, she says, you must be tired. What heavy footsteps you have. So this thing walks away, having released its magic. And she goes back with a smile on her face, pulls up her skirt and stuff, pants, elastic type of pants. And she goes back to camp, and she says, "Oh, you're here." Looking at you. Looking at you. He is looking at you, kid. Around the fire. The big fire going on. Around the campfire. And you're sat there, and she's looking at you, thinking that you've just been with her. Plausibly. And she's looking at you, she's looking at Chris, and Lily says to her, "Oh, I'm glad you found your way back. I thought you got lost. You're making a lot of ruffling in the bushes there, on your own." So, Lucy, with the pinkish ivory skin, Big Lucy's saying, she's got a puzzled look on her face, thinking, on your own? Because she knows she wasn't on her own. Anyway, forget about it. We all get into our big, thick sleeping bags. Around the fire, we decide to leave the fire on, the natural fire going, and sleep around it, for safety. And we put the tent right near the fire, near enough. You feel its warmth even when you're in the tent. And if you open the tent doors, it's facing directly to the fire. So it's all right. It's always well. It's all worked out pretty good for everyone, because we get into a nice thick sleeping bags and just zip up the sleeping bags. And these are very thermal insulated sleeping bags with built-in cushions and pillows in the sleeping bags. It's very comfortable, and you're pressed right up like sardines, right up against Lily, the young, beautiful Lily, with Blige, beautiful, buxom skin, buxom young Lily, pushing up against you. You're just tired, you've done exercise, you've been walking around in nature, doing stuff. So obviously you just can't be arsed, you're just falling asleep. And your eyes actually are falling asleep. And you are actually falling asleep, and it's good to fall asleep, apparently. And it's very tired, it's very good. Re-energizing, it's good to fall asleep. And then, basically, Fingy's in the tent with you as well, Chris, and Big Juicy Lucy. And we all have a good night's sleep, and you just slept all the way through it, basically, till I'd say about 6 o'clock in the morning. You didn't wake up till about 6 o'clock in the morning. You were just out in a deep, deep REM sleep that you might get in nature. Expect to get in nature with the and you're just out. You're just fully asleep, and you're alright with it. And you're fully on board with this. You're fully asleep, and you're loving it. You don't mind it. And it feels good to be pressed up against this buxom young Blige, beautiful Lily, even though she's in a sleeping bag, you're in yours. It keeps you warm. Definitely. Oh yeah. So you weren't disturbed in the night. You actually had a good first night's sleep. Fantastic, I must say. And then what's happened is the dawning of the dawn of the morning time. You wake up not till about 6 o'clock, and you've just come out of a really deep REM, rapid eye movement type of deep sleep dream. A dreamy dream of the dream other dream world, the dream world when you sleep. And basically, you're so glad, feeling so secure, feeling so tranquilo, that you are pressed up against this young buxom Blige girl that is your taking you as your best uh, bestie, best friend, companion. She wants it. Look. Anyway, you need a wee. So you get up. You're like pressed against these her and this other people, and you have to get up and just get yourself out of your sleeping bag, and you need to go somewhere for a wee. And you actually go there quite near. You walk away from the campsite as you can see a bit more things in the sky now. There's a bit of red in the sky, a bit of pink, a bit of these colours in the sky now, so that it's becoming more towards daylight. Yeah, it's not daylight yet, it's still dark, it's just getting towards daylight. And so you can see stuff as your eyes adjust. You can see stuff, but it's still not fully clear. But it's getting there. And anyway, you go and you see this huge. You go to near where Lucy did a poo last night, and you see this poo on the floor, and you're doing a wee quite near it, and you're looking. You're doing a nice wee, and just weeing out like a lot of wee, and it's hitting the ground, and the ground is a bit moist, and it's absorbing into the ground and all that type of thing. And you look at this piece of poo, and you think that's a really good, impressive piece of poo. Lucy, last night, Big Lucy, she must have done a really big poo. I didn't realise she had such a big asshole, because if you look at the piece of poo which you're looking at now, which is while she's doing a wee, it's basically 2 inches wide and a foot long piece of poo. That's a big piece of poo, and it's over an inch. It's over an inch high. It's about 1.5 inches high, 2 inches wide, a good foot long subway type poo. A real big thick chunk of one piece of big poo, which is like 1 foot long, 2 inches wide, big piece of poo. And you're thinking, I like doing my poos. I love doing my poos. It's what I look forward to in life the most. But at the end of the day, well, not the most, but I do like. Basically, you're going back to the camp and you're going back to bed. You've cleaned yourself off and you've seen this poo. You've done your wee, and you think, might as well do a poo as well. So you do a good poo and it just blasts out. And you feel really good, and you clean yourself off, and you go back to bed all fresh and smooth skin and clean. And then what's happened is you climb over Blige, and you slip into your sleeping bag, snug as a bug, in a tent. And there's no bugs there, and it's all clean. And there are little bird sounds coming now. It just absolutely makes the atmosphere good. And you put your sleeping bag, you get in your sleeping bag and you put the thing over your head, which is an extra additional thing on the sleeping bag, which you can like put over your head to make it keep dark. And you fall back to sleep, all of you like snug together in this 4-person tent. And you're dreaming about the poo you saw, gigantic poo, and you're thinking your poo's a good size as well, but this is a huge poo that you saw. And you're just having a nice sleep, and you're in nice dreamland, and all is well, and you're having a good sleep. So anyway, it gets to about, I must say, 11 o'clock in the morning, and you and Chris are still in bed. Lily's got up. You're waking up now. Lucy thinks that the boys are asleep, so she might as well just get changed in the tent. You pretend to be asleep and have a good watch. And then what happens is, she gets dressed and Lucy gets out the tent. And then you decide, oh, I'm awake as well now, so you might as well get up. So you get up to a beautiful morning in the wilderness. And you get up to much good things, to be honest. And Thingy Lily has already been up. And she's already got all the food and breakfast prepared. Hot, cooked food. The fire stayed on. The campfire stayed on all night. It didn't go out. She was very stoked. She kept it stoked for you and all that type of thing. And basically conveyed this very well. She's prepared the breakfast, just the perfect timing. She's cooking on the pan, and everything's just at the perfect timing. Breakfast is there, ready as soon as you wake up. And you're prepared to say what you say, and you know what you're saying, you say what you feel. Oh, just fantastic. And a beautiful view going for miles of just like a carpet of in the sky of green, evergreen trees, and oh, fantastic. And there's some evergreen branches overlapping nearby where you're sitting on the log fire. Oh, it's fantastic. And you tuck in to your breakfast, hot breakfast, all the works. You're chewing it, smelling it. Lily's handing you the plate of food. She's saying, do you want some more? I've got more for you. And she's got plenty. And you're saying, yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. You're eating it. Oh, it's fantastic. And everyone's got up and they're all eating it. And then you're shouting to Chris, Chris, you want some breakfast? And he's like, you have my breakfast then. Are you sure? Yeah, have my breakfast. Alright, I'll eat your breakfast as well then. Then Lucy's like, no, you can't eat Chris's breakfast. Oh, that's tight. Oh, don't be tight. Be loose. So she says, so she gets some food. Because there's tons of food. There's food for 20 people. There's food enough for 20 people. For God's sake, come on. Got huge pots and pans here, massive ones. Anyway, she puts big juicy Lucy. She puts with the reddish pink, sorry, pinkish ivory skin. She puts the she's got them long elastic pants on. She's put some food aside for Chris, and she's touching Chris now, just gently on his head to wake him up. And he's getting up, and he can smell the food. So he is getting up, and he's coming to eat it now. So yeah, now he's coming to eat the food. All right. Anyway, I'm still eating because there's plenty of food. And of course, if you're getting more muscular, you're probably on this diet where you have a big breakfast, and then you wait a good 10-15 minutes for it to digest, and you make some more room in your stomach. Then you have another big second breakfast. Yeah, that's what you're doing. And then basically, you're loving it. So, anyway. So, fancy a walk? Says Lily. A nice hike in the countryside? And you're like, oh, well, it's a lot of effort, a lot of exercise. Do we need to? And she says, yeah, it's only a walk. So you go, all right then. Lily's like, come on, let Chris have his breakfast and then we'll go for a walk. We'll tidy this up and go for a walk. So, yeah, Chris eats his breakfast. You're on your second breakfast. And the girls have eaten their... Lucy's still eating her breakfast with you. And she says, oh, I'm full. Do you want that? Go on then, I'll eat the rest of your breakfast stuff as well. So then we get... Then she says... Lily says, come on, can you tighten my boots? So you put Lily's boots on her... Well, you adjust her boots and you tighten her boots. And you just tie her boots for Lily. And then you're all ready. You put the stuff away. and we put our backpacks on. She says, "Here, help me get my backpack on." And you say, "Oh, help me get mine on." So right, and then we start this little. Well, it's not a hike. It's not really a journey. It's more like one foot in front of the other. Just doing that quite a lot. Little step, next little step, next little step, until it becomes like a walk or a journey. And all four of you are going for this walk, hike. Oh my! So on the walk, big Lucy, she's a good walker. She's quite talkative as well. She's on and on. She's talking about, she's trying to figure out which one of us was with her last night, giving her a good time. And she's saying, "Oh, it was such a good night last night, wasn't it? Oh, I did a good." And then I bring up the topic about what a giant poo you've done. And she said, "Oh, thanks. I heard you like the good quality of my poo." And I'm like, "Oh, I've done a good poo myself." And she's like, "Ooh, have you?" And I said to her, "That's a really big poo. I didn't know you were such a big asshole. You had one, because I saw it what you did in the woods, and it was 2 inches wide and a foot long, like the size of a subway." And she said, "Really?" I said, "That's one of the biggest poos I've ever seen. I'm very impressed. Now I see you in a better light." Of course, she was naturally highly charmed by my positive comments, and she blushed in a nice manner of goodness. And basically, we carried on walking. And Lily was like thinking, this is an unusual conversation, talking about poo, and the good quality poos, and the poos we did, and the poos we love to do. So Lily was leading the pack, leading the hike, the expedition. Well, the hike through these trails and all that type of thing. And we're just following her lead, looking at her feet and just following her heels and all that type of thing. Pushing branches aside and all that type of thing. And looking through the woods and the different layers of trees. For as far as we can see, can only see so far. And Lily was saying, "Oh, you like poo, do you? You like talking about poo, do you?" She said, "Oh, do you want to see my poo?" And then we said, "Oh, that's disgusting. You don't know how to talk about it in the correct manner." So she got the hint and she changed the topic. And she said, "Oh, did you like the breakfast though? I saw you ate all that up." I said, "Yeah, you do such a fantastic chef. Not only are you like stunning, you're actually like a permanent friend, and you're just like good. You just you're full of emote. You're full of." And she just said, "Good character." I said, "Yeah, but you just, you're very, what's the word?" And she just said, "Compassionate." I said, "No, no, well, I don't know. I wouldn't say a human being can be compassionate, but anyway." And we carried on walking. And they were chatting away, and Chris was like beginning to talk, because he can talk, he just sometimes goes a bit quiet. I don't know, something happened to him when he was a kid, makes him a bit quiet sometimes, but he can talk. When he starts talking, he talks. So I was surprised that this walk just went on and on and on and on and on, thinking that, we're not going to go very far, just doing these small little steps, one step at a time, then the next step. We're not going to get very far. But actually, looking back, we got really far. Whew, made huge progress anyway. Then I decided, we got to this summit and decided, you know what, let's turn back. We've left all our camping stuff in the car there. And like Lily's like, "Oh yeah." And Lucy's like, "Yeah, we best go back. This is far enough." then Chris is like, did you know how to get back? Did you remember the way we came? Instantly, Big Lucy replies, well, have you forgot about last night? I remember. Anyway, so we turned round, thank God, and there was a strange feeling. Good thing we didn't go on any further, because there was a strange coolness on such a hot day, and a strange emptiness at that point where there was no bird sounds or cricket sounds or animal sounds. There was no wind. Felt like we was in an eerie computer game or something. And that's why I said, let's not go any further, let's go back now, we've come far enough. It feels a bit eerie here. And they concurred. Lily said, it does feel quiet here. Unusually. Too quiet. Yeah, so I turned it round and we went back. And we just kind of guessed our way back. We didn't really know which way we were going, but we just followed the trail back. Should have put some breadcrumbs or something down to know our way back. Chris became paranoid. He was paranoid. He said, I feel eyes in my head. I feel like something sinister's watching. Or something's tracking us. And Lucy just said, she patted him on the back and all that type of thing and said, behave yourself. Oh, behave. She said, oh, behave. You know, what you like. There's no one here. We'll look after you. I'll look after you, honey. So, yeah, his intuition was his intuition. Gut intuition, instincts, all this type of sixth sense qualities. And as you know, we felt. I did feel at some point, I'll be honest, you felt at some point that something was in a bush, in a specific bush, and something was telling us, screaming inside my head saying, don't go in that bush, whatever you do, don't go in that bush. It's a massive patch of bushes that's like opens up into empty space inside the bush. Huge bushes that go on and on and on. Something was just telling me something's in there. And whatever you do, get away from it quick. Don't go in that bush. That we just, thank God, it was just so clear. These clear thoughts in my mind. Stay away from that big bush. There's something in there watching you. It's not good. So I just couldn't wait to get away from that bush and carry on walking. And I did say something. Thank God I did say something. You said basically, that bush is staring at me. There's something evil in that bush. I can just sense it. Can anyone else? And Chris said, yeah, it doesn't feel right. Chris just wanted to get away. He was looking back at that bush as well. So I picked up on his body language as well. He picked up on it that it wasn't right about that bush. The big, massive, not just a bush, like huge, high bushes that have got tons of empty space in them that you could hide in, type of thing. There was something telling your sixth sense was telling you, loud and clear, something there, something no good. Get away from it. Don't go in that bush, whatever you do. And who knows, maybe there was something in the bush. Maybe the bush was empty inside. We don't know. So we didn't bother checking because we didn't dare. Anyway, Lucy said, oh no, there's nothing wrong with the bush. But we just pulled her our way of thinking our way. So we walked back towards our camp, and it was quite a long trek back. And we had to stop at some point. We got well away from that bush to where we felt safe again. And then we just stopped and sat on a rock and sat and had a look at the view where there was like less trees and there was a good view. You could see down through the countryside and all that, fields and all that type of things. Anyway, to cut a long story short, we got back. Thank God we actually came across the bloody camping stuff and the car again. I just wanted to go home, and I said to him, let's go home now. And Lily said, oh, one more night. Give me one more night with you. So basically, at the temptation of being pressed up against her, at the temptation of enjoying her company and my company, enjoying your company and all that type of thing, 3-1, we decided to stay another night. And I was like, I said to them, look, I might sleep in the car tonight, but, how much food have we got left? So Lily showed me. She said, here, look, have a look. And a lot of the food was there, but some of the food was gone. And she was saying, oh, that's strange. I thought, what? She said, oh, some of the food's gone, but some of it's been left. And I said, how much have we got? So we had a look at the food. Still quite a decent amount of food, but some of it was gone. And she looked puzzled. And this night was a hell of a different night. A totally different night from last night. Or was it ever a totally different night? It was a night of noises. A night of a lot of stuff going on. The night was getting dark and getting thick. And clouds were gathering. And a light drizzle came down from the sky. Thin rain droplets delivered by angels unseen. And a silver lining was on the clouds that could be seen even in the darkest of the night. And the moon was bright like a light, like a lamp, and it pressed through and made a spotlight on the ground in the clearing of the woods. And you could see the reflection of eyes at night. And there was some strange whooping, and we were in and out of sleep. And Lily was asleep in her sleeping bag, or like a cocoon sleeping bag. And then you, and then Lucy and Chris. And once again, the fire was left on, kept fully stoked, and the sleeping bag, the sleeping tent, was facing towards the fire. But the fire wasn't that high, and you could see over the fire into the deeper woods, into the deep dark layers of trees that got darker with every layer. And then there was some, I believe, red eyes wide apart behind the fire that you could just look at. That Lily, as you was just beside Lily, you could just see, whilst holding on to her cocoon, you could just see these red things stood there, eyes wider apart than that of a human. But you had the safety of the fire in between you. And Lucy, she sleepwalks. Big Lucy, Juicy, she gets up, unzips her sleeping bag, and with her big stocky legs, they take her somewhere safely. As she sleepwalks, she goes for a walk in the night. You didn't know this. You thought she just gets up and does stuff, but she was sleepwalking. And who was with her the other night when she did a poo? Was it you that met her when she did a poo? Was it a Bigfoot, or was it Chris? Only you know the answers to these things. Then suddenly, your eyes were falling back to sleep, and every now and then you'd be able to open your eyes from the sleeping bag and look beyond the fire, the campfire, and its little flames, well, medium-sized flames, and you'd see these red eyes, and you'd look for them. Where are the red eyes? Ah, there they are. And you'd feel safe and good. And then you'll feel good because you're with other people. pressed against them, and then you'd fall back asleep. But Lucy had gone on one of her walkabouts. All of a sudden, a little bit of fear came over you, which you embraced the feeling of this fear. When you had a negative feeling, you were taught to welcome that feeling and feel it in your chest and welcome the feeling, because you heard this noise, whoop, 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 coming from somewhere with a deeper voice than that. Then you heard something call back to the other one. Something was talking to one another. Two things were talking to each other outside your camp nearby. You didn't know what these things were, but you had put your trust in God to keep you safe. Plus you were with people, and you had a car nearby, and you had a gun. So everything was alright. And then maybe you thought you were dreaming, and then the strangest thing happened. You came out of your body and you astro-projected. And there you were, all rested, all your limbs, in your feet, in your ankles, in your legs, lower legs, knees, thigh muscles, all relaxed, all let loose, let go. Everything in your hips, back, neck, shoulders, face, let go, loose. All the muscles relax, rejuvenated. Can rejuvenate in that nice REM sleep. But then you saw yourself, and you looked down on yourself, and you saw yourself sleeping in the sleeping bag, and you saw Lily, beautiful Lily, right beside you, breathing deeply, breathing with her diaphragm moving as she breathes. And you saw Chris in his sleeping bag sucking his thumb, and you thought, wait a minute, how am I watching myself? And then you didn't realize it, but you had left your body, and you went to investigate what was going on. And you rose up in the form of a soul, now having left your body, having actually accomplished astral projection, because you set the intention to. And the last thing you said before you went to sleep, one of the last things you said was, I'm going to astral project. What would it be like to astral project? And you managed to do it once again. And now you're rising up above the fire. And you can see the fire in a different color now, and above the campfire. And rising up, you just float up amongst the trees, off the ground, floating up. Oh, you've gone too high. Now you're on the tops of the trees, looking down on the pine trees. And then you just pull yourself down to see where Lucy is, and you find her as she's sleepwalking. And then you go and see something else. Then you go further on. So many meters you float over and down. And then something makes eye contact with you. You see through from your soul is the thing that sees. You are the soul. Believe it or not, for this story you are anyway. And then something makes eye contact at you. These big two red eyes, wide apart. I'd say a good 3 inches apart, these red eyes. On a big head, on a big body. And it makes eye contact with you. And you make eye contact with it. But you're safe and you feel totally safe because you're floating above it and you're not directly above it. And this thing, to describe it, what you're looking at now, has wide, big eyes as big as a horse. Its nostrils are massive. You could easily shove your one finger up its nose, up its nostril. And it has a brow ridge, a very thick, prominent, thick-boned brow ridge above its eyes, on its eyebrows. Its eyebrows are thick and bushy. And it has hairy ears. And it has a smile, a slight smile. But its mouth is as wide as the Joker's mouth. Its mouth is incredibly wide. And its teeth are entirely flat, used for grinding wheat and grass and berries. And it stood on 2 feet. And its feet, you notice, it stood as still as a piece of wood. It stood as still as a tree. And its feet, you notice, are double the length of yours, and extra wide and big. And its toes are massive and gripping. And its calf muscles are massive. Its knee joint, at the knee joint, it is incredibly wide. A fascinatingly wide knee joint. And then its legs go straight up into a wide torso with outspreading, pumped up, sticking out, 2 sticking out chest muscles with nipples on them, all covered in hair. Shoulders and a rib cage so wide and so dense, and the rib cage that from its chest to its spine is phenomenally wide. And its shoulders are incredibly boulder-like, covered in hair. And its arms are thick all the way to its biceps, and arms are incredibly heavy. And then its forearms are as wide as a gorilla. And it has hands, and you look at its hands, and the leather skin on its hands. And this thing's following you with its eyes. And you can see the shine in its red eyes. And it makes a sniff while standing perfectly still to see if it can sniff you. But it sniffs only Lily, who is nearby. And it can see you. You can see it. You're unafraid because you're above it. And you're floating out of your soul. And it turns its head. And it's got a cone on its head where a bone of muscle attaches to the back of its head, like that of a gorilla, attaches to its very high trapezium muscles. And you see it turn. And when it turns, the back on this thing is like bigger than Mr. Olympia. This is a big back. Big, thick, stocky, tree-like legs. And its arms are extra long, and it just swings its arms. It has very relaxed, long strides, and it walks away as silently as it can. And you think you've done your job by sending it away, but you saw something, and you don't even know if what you saw is real, because you're not even sure if you're dreaming or if you're astro projecting. You don't even know if this is real. But then you see Lily. She's gone for a midnight poo. And she's wiped herself and she's pulled her knickers up. And you're having a good look. And then, now that you're astro-projecting and you have the choice to travel to any country in China, Arabia, anywhere you want to go and explore that country, but you choose not to because you need to stay here for this episode and look after your friends. In another meditation episode, we will astro-project and tour many other countries and places and cities. But for this episode, we're staying here to look after Lucy, Lily and Chris, because Chris, he needs your help. Lily, she's asleep, she looks after you. Lucy, she's just woke up. And Lucy's just woken up and she realised where she is. She was in a trance. And now she's hungry. And you're really near her in the spirit, in the soul. You're near enough to help her, kind of. And you kind of help her. And she walks and you watch her walk. And you scout around as a soul as you dart in between the trees out of your body, astro protecting. And you see that this thing has walked off. And you can dart really quick, so you dart around at about the speed of light sometimes staying still and hovering. But you can dart around and you see where the Sasquatch has gone. And you see where it's gone to, and it's gone quite far already. It was looking after you. It was a friend. You get back and you watch Lucy get back into bed, and then you dart off to where you last saw the Sasquatch. You can't find it, but you can travel so quick outside of your body. You're now darting fastly out of your body, leaning to the left, leaning to the right, astro projecting, just as a soul, out of your body, in the wilderness of Canada. And you're going through the trees, and you're picking up the trail. You can see the big footprints that are many strides apart, massive feet, running by you, underneath you, and you're high up in the trees, in the midst of the trees. You're neither above the trees, nor are you on the ground. You're in the middle, flying fast, and you find this Sasquatch, and you catch up to it, and you slow down, and you hover, and you watch where it goes into a nearby cave type of place. And then it comes out of the cave, and you go into the cave with it, and around you are the cave walls. Some of them are wet and dark, but you can see, because the moonlight is coming in, and then the cave is narrow, but not big enough for it to get through. But it comes out of the cave, doesn't go all the way into the cave, it comes out of another entrance, and it goes to these bushes, and it hides in these bushes, and it gets in its bed, and it gets some hay, and some ferns, and some greenery pressed down, and it gets in there with its other Sasquatch partner, with its mate, and it goes to sleep. And it opens, and it lays down on the floor, and its mate's there, laid down on the bedding, and its mate opens its big eye, as if to say, honey, you're home. And now you know where they live, because you've astro projected. And then you turn around, and you check the area, and you fly straight up to the moon. Within seconds you go straight up, far above the tree line, far above the bushes, you go a mile high into the night sky, and you can see the millions and millions of trees around, and you can see the towns and the lights of the town in the distance. You can see the moonlight, and you can see the silver clouds and the dark clouds just around you. You twirl around, you feel like Superman, And then you look down, you look at the moon, you see the detail on the moon, and you fly around the moon. You fly around the moon, and you see the detail on the craters of the moon, and you go into the moon, into the craters, and you don't know if you're astral projecting or if this is a dream. And then you chase the moon, and then it's not cheese. Or is it? And then it's not cheese. And then you locate the country of Canada, and then you blast yourself down to earth, hovering above the trees, and then you recognize where your body is, sleeping away next to Lily and Lucy and Chris. And you enter, and you see the fire, the delightful campfire, and you think, I'm going back into my body. And you go back into your body, and there you are safe, and you're asleep again, back in your body. You enter your body into the mouth, and when you enter your body, now you can move your fingers and your toes a bit, and you're back in your body. But you've just learned, or you are learning now, how to astral project. Keep watching videos and you might learn something. Or you might just get entertained. This is for entertainment purposes only. And then the next morning, the sun came out. It was very, very warm. Like springtime. Very warm. And Chris has got up and he's in the grass, in the shallow grass. And it's nice and warm. And you can feel the warmth of the sun on you. And you're glad to be back in your body. You've had a nice trip. You've had a nice flight. And basically, you see Chris there doing his yoga, and he's totally changed his attitude. And you say to Chris, and he's talking away to Lucy as he does, because they're just attracted to him. He's got that natural, he's a natural basically. That's why you hang around with him. And then he turns to you and says, I've got my passport. When are we going to Amsterdam? On the next episode, or on some of the following episodes, we will be astral projecting to many different countries and possibly to Amsterdam. Stay tuned, sports fans. And if you think there's anything I need to improve on these videos, give me some comments. If anything you think you like about these videos, leave some positive comments as well. And click the thumbs up if this helped you to get to sleep or something. Good night. Next episode is going to be more Sasquatch and more helicopters. If you've had an encounter with a Sasquatch, or you think you've seen a ghost or something unusual has happened to you, some kind of Mandela effects or some kind of strange things happen to you in the future or past, and you would like to share your story, then feel free to leave me a comment saying you've got a story to share with this channel, Conspiracy Club, or send me an email. And in the title box, just in large letters, write, I have an experience to share. And I will click on that email, and I'll be able to share it on this video, and I will hide your name so you can remain anonymous in anonymity. Anonymous, and your story or experience can be shared on this channel. I also get a lot of my stories from books, such as the novel Gin City. Not the gin that you drink, but there you go. Until next time, good night.